we're going to do data cleaning. I have two files here. There is an HR database. I want us, yes. So when you look at this HR database, it is in Excel. Yeah, they have given you this file. They want a report. HR wants a report. We are going to run into that. Maybe they want to know how many developers they have, the date of birth, when they were hired, when they were terminated, and those that are blank, which means they are still working with them. Then the termination reason is also there. What we are doing here is called data exploration. So before you load data in Power BI, explore it, understand what data you're dealing with. So when I look at my data, that maybe there is a system where this person was copying data, putting it for that year. This was 2021 to 2025. And this one was 2016 to 2019. Yeah, here the dates can show that. When you look at the higher date, up to 2019. But at the end of the day, we want to combine this data into one. We want to remove all these blank rows. We want to remove some of the blank columns. We want to give values to these blank cells. If it is blank, then we know this person is still working with us. But can we put their value? So we are going to do that in Power Query. Obviously, even in Excel, there is data cleaning. Simon here, I think he attended one of my courses in January this year on Excel, and we did the data cleaning. So in Excel, it's there. But now, this time, we are going to use Power BI and purposely using Power Query. Now, this is the file we are going to load. I will close it because always don't extract a file that is open. It will give you errors and you fail to understand where the errors are coming from. And why Power BI also doesn't allow you to load a file that is open. Someone may be editing it while you're loading it. It means there is going to be a mismatch in your analysis and what the people are doing entries. So when you're going to load, that is extracting it, it will always ask you to close it. But let's try. Now, this is our new file. You see, they give you the quick options you can use. There is an Excel, importing from the database SQL. There is importing, pasting data directly, and there is using sample. Today we are going to look at Excel. So sometimes Excel is not the type, the extension we know. When you look at your Excel, if I go back to the folder where it is coming from, it has an extension. If I can enlarge this, it has an extension here, XLX, meaning that it is in a format of Microsoft Excel worksheet. There is when you find it is a CSV, it means it is comma separated version. Now, when I say I'm importing an Excel, and yet what you're importing is a CSV, you'll not see it in that folder. And you keep asking yourself, but it was there. Because you're importing a wrong data type, a wrong connector. So you can pick it from here, but we shall go for this, which is the one that has more connectors. So when you come to more, it will give you all the connectors. We said last time that Power BI now has over 200 connectors. If you want to get more details, to that video. So here, giving us all, we shall go to files. So there is Excel, there is text stroke CSV. So you should always know your file you're importing. Ours is already an Excel workbook. So we shall go with this. So I'll click on this and connect. The moment I connect, it is going to ask me, can you give us the folder where your file is? If you don't have your folder, please look for it. If you have the folder already open like I have it here, come and click in the address bar, Control-C, copy that address bar, come and bring it here, click here, paste it here, and enter, it will automatically take you to that folder. Rather than hovering here, it is in download, it is on desktop, it is in my this. We have folders which have sub folders like 1,000. So you can always use that trick and it will give you. Now, when you check, you see that here I'm having one workbook. Yet, when you look at this, they are meant to be two. And you'll start asking yourself, where is the monthly financials gone? Because it is a CSV. That's why it can't appear here. Because the extension we are importing is Excel workbook. What if I did CSV like this? And I go back to that. So what if I did this? Wait a minute. Okay. I want to move this in our folder such that we import it from the right repository. So it means that it will not give us an error because it is open in a different one. Let's open this one. I want us to see whether it will give us an error. Okay, fine. So you close this. So again, I'm copying this address bar, go to Power BI, paste the address bar here, the directory here. It is not giving us anything. Why? Because in this folder, we don't have any CSV. That's why it is only giving you a folder, backup folder. And even when we open that folder, it will show there is nothing. Yet in the backup folder, there is a file. But because the extension we are importing is not a PBIX. PBIX means Power BI information something. Maybe I'll get for you the full name of that. So it means when you are importing data, you have to make sure you know the type of file you're importing. That one, I think I have sealed it on that. So I'll go back and say Excel workbook. Here it is now. So this is the Excel workbook I need. It is in the right folder. I will click on it and open. When I try to open, it tells me, my dear, the workbook you want to open is in use. Enter a new name if you want to open another. If you want to open it, maybe you have to go and close that program that is using that file. That is a control. I've told you the purpose to that control. So you don't run to your IT guy, my file is corrupt. No, it's not corrupt. Just come to this file, close it. The moment you finish closing it, let's upload again, open. It will pass and it will start importing it. The moment it imports, it will bring you a navigator. Why do we get this navigator? It brings a navigator to show you that you have one sheet on that file. If you have many sheets, it will drop all the sheets. And you have to select out the sheet you want. There are options here. You can enable data preview, only select for only selected items. When you select this, when I click on this, you see there is no, I can't preview the data I've clicked on because it is disabled. So you can always enable it here such that when I click on a file, I see what I'm saying. When I click on this, it shows me that table. When I click on this, it shows me the second table. Now, here below, it is showing me the two tables in that sheet. Why? You saw that we had two tables separated. So here, if you want to import one table, you can, but we want to import everything because we are going to merge them. So I will come and say I'm importing it as a sheet. So if I import it as a sheet, I will go ahead, either load or transform. My dear friend, don't load the data you are not sure how clean it is. You can always take that. But even though I load it, I can go back in the Power BI interface and again load the transformation user interface, that is the Power Query, and start cleaning. But it is always healthy for you to have the discipline of always clicking on transform data. So I will click on transform data. It will open a Power Query editor. Even though my data is clean, I can go ahead and close and apply, right? But it is always good to reach this stage first. Then you just pass an eye. You verify whether really your data is clean. Like right now, you see those nulls, meaning our data is not clean. There is a lot we have to do. Now, we already did the data exploration, and we already know what our data is about. We already know what is ahead of us. Now, to that one who will open Power BI not seeing this, we call it, when you come here to view, we call it a column quality. When you come to view here in the Power Query editor, we previewed all these ribbons. You'll get more explanation in the video. So when you come to view, there is this quality, column quality. Mine is always checked because I always want to know how my columns are behaving. You see, like now this column, it is showing you that the valid ones are 28%, the empty ones are 71%. You have to be, it has to trigger your conscience. The column I'm dealing with, should I have nulls? If I'm having nulls, how should I deal with them? This one already tells you. Then you see here the date, the birthday. I don't know whether it was here. This is birthday date. Because even the columns are showing column 4, column 5, we are going to do all that cleaning. Then what I'm doing here still is called data exploration. You can explore from the source it is, or you can explore it from the Power Query editor. Then when you look at column 1, it had, for it picked the registration, employee registration, but really, is it the heading? No. We know that the heading is ID. Employee registration, because it was just a wording somewhere at the top, that's why it picked it. Don't worry. So after you have done that, there is also something we call the column profiling. Column profiling means that if I click on this column, it will profile that column and show you in summary what is in that column and how are the numbers running. So you see resignation here, they are 11, unfair dismissal, they are 10, termination reason, it is 2, dismissal 2, end of internship contract 2, mutual agreement 1. But we already know that we have 71% of them that are null. So it has already triggered something. So even if I haven't cleaned my data, I can give my boss a summary that, by the way, those who resigned, those ones who have a reason of resignation, they are 11. Those who resigned and fair dismissal, they are 10. I haven't touched anything, but I already have this summary. That is the column profiling. When it is unchecked, you'll never get that column profiling. So I always check it to make sure that when I'm cleaning data, I know what I'm running with. When I click here, now there is some data that you can't profile, like dates. So don't worry when you can't get the profiling. But if I come here, it will show me male, female, then gender. If I come on names, it will profile. And obviously every name has to appear once. That's why you see the bars are the same. Okay. I have now I've told you what is column profiling and what is column quality. Column quality gives you here the quality of the column. If there are errors, it will tell you have a percentage of these errors. Then you can take a quick run that remove the empty rows. If I click here, it will remove all the empty rows, which I don't want. There is a reason why I don't have to do it that way, because if here it is empty, and it has data this side, and you use this remove the empty, it will remove the whole row. So there are ways when you can use that, and there is when you don't have to use that. Now, when you come to home in the Power Query, there are a lot of features we are going to use for cleaning. When you come to transform, which is the mother of transforming, We talked about it: extract, transform, load. We have already done the E by picking this file from wherever it was. Now the next stage we are going on is transforming. After we have done the transforming, we are going to go here on home and say close and apply. That is what stands for the L, which is the load. So from today and onwards, as a data analyst, when you look at anything like ETL, you know what it means: extract, transform, load. We use that in data analysis tools like Power BI, Tableau. There are many tools outside there. Now, we already know our data. Now, what should we do? The first thing, I want to eliminate all the rows that I know really these rows are null. I don't need them part of my data. How am I going to do that? I'm going to look, maybe I'm going to use the ID column. Or you can even use any column for reference. Let's say if I know my data, I'm previewing, I am dealing with every row that has an employee name. So I will come maybe to this and say, in this column, anything that is null is none of my business. Even if the employee was part of the data but didn't have a name, is none of my business. So I will come and select null, uncheck null, and say OK. The moment I uncheck that and say OK, all the nulls in this column have disappeared. And even they have gone with the nulls I didn't want, all the other headers that were disorganized somewhere. They have gone with that because I've used the column with a reference that speaks to the quality I want. That I'm not dealing with any data without the employee name, full stop. Now, mind you, when you do anything, we have done a step here and it logs a step. You see that from when we started, we pulled the source. These are automated. We have done the first step by filtering. It is telling you what you have done. If you want to get the details to that, when you click on that setting, it tells you that, by the way, your filtered does not equal to null because I unchecked null. That's why it is telling me does not equal to null. If I say equals to null, if I change this equals to null and I say OK, it will hide others and bring me the nulls. These are the nulls we had hidden. So you can always change your data from the steps themselves. Does not equal to null, I go with that. Now, what is the next thing? You realize that my columns, the headers they are having, there is column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. That is not what I need. But you will realize that my heading here is row number 1. Then another thing, remember these were 2 tables. When we scroll and finish the first table, there is another header, which was for another table. How do we deal with this? So how do I deal with this? There are 2 ways. I can first filter out one, then promote the other. So the first option I'll go with is I'm going to promote this row to become the headings. How do you do that? You go to transform. When I come to transform, no. It is on home. Eh? So when you go to home, actually even on transform, it should be there. But most of the summaries are here on home. So when you come to home, go to this section of transform. You see here there is use first row as headers. It means that if I click on this, it is going to promote this first row into a heading. We call it promote, and you'll see the step writing on itself, promoted. So there are 2 options here. There is use header as a first row. If you want to demote this heading and put it as a first row, let's first try that. Use header as first row. You see, they will demote it and it will create another column, another header names, and it will demote that. And it will tell you here that you demoted headers. If I want to go back to what I had before, I will cancel this. I will cancel this. I go back here. Remember, what you cancel, you can't undo. Someone was demoting. Now we are going to promote this. So you go on home. this is the function here, use first row as headers. We want to promote this header to become, this row to become the heading. So I told you there are two options. We did the demoting. Demoting, you'll rarely use it. Most of the times you'll always find that you want to promote your first row to become headers. So I'll click on this and it will automatically promote the other first row into headers, right? Now that is the first step. You see, when it promotes the header, it automatically changes the data type. You see, like these data types that the Power BI sees that this is a text, it makes them text. If it sees a number, it will make it a number. If it sees a date, it will make it a date. But also, where they put ABC 1, 2, 3, it means that the data type has not been chosen. You will look into and choose your own data type. Why it was not automatically chosen? Because Power BI was seeing dates and nulls. So it couldn't give it a date because it is having both, right? So that's how we promote headers. Now, after promoting the headers, remember there is another header here, which we want to eliminate, by the way. So this one, we shall want to eliminate it. So after you have promoted the other one, you can look out for any column you want to use that you know that when I click on it, I have the profiling as male and female. It means anything that is gender is the other header. So which means I will come here and uncheck this gender because the gender is not the value, but it was the heading of the second table we saw last time. So it means I'll come to the gender. You can use any column when you're doing your cleaning, but why I'm using these specific columns because I know they are data. Like you already know in the column of gender, there is either male or there is female. I hear these days there is another gender, but we know too. So here I'll come and uncheck this gender because that was a heading which I want to eliminate. Go ahead and OK. It will show you the step. These steps, they will become many steps, don't worry. And if you are sharing or collaborating this file with some other user, you can even rename these steps. We did it last time. You can right click and rename it. That here I was eliminate second header like this, right? Such that every time you're reviewing your data, you know what step was, if each step you were doing what by then. Such that it is easy when you're doing changes, you know what every step you are doing. Other than coming to this, you check what was being done, which becomes difficult for someone who didn't do the cleaning with you. And he is also maybe a collaborator to such a file. Then, after we have done that, we are going forward. In data cleaning, there are principles. I'll share with you the principles on WhatsApp. You go and read through. The next thing is we have to look at the nulls. Do we really need the nulls? Now, when you look at these, 100% valid, 100% valid, 100% valid, you get. Now, let me come to this termination date. On the termination date, we have valid 28%. Then we have empty 71%. What does that mean? It means that anything that is empty is supposed to be, it means that that employee is current, right? So for now, it means we are not going to replace that because we don't know when this employee will be terminated, because this is the termination date. So I'll go ahead and change this data type. But most of the cases, I always want to change the data types at once, because every time you do a change, it logs a step. So you'll find that you're having a lot of steps that are not coordinated. So some of the things you can always do them at once. After cleaning, then you go ahead and change data types. I think that's fine. Why I'm saying that if I change a data type here, it is going to log a step. Then I come and rename something, it logs a step. Then I again change a data type this side, it logs another step. Rather than when I'm changing data types at once, everything logs in the same step. Yeah. And when we reach a point of looking at how your report refreshes faster, it always depends also on the many steps you have. So when you have many steps, in the background, your report first goes through all these steps. It can be a second too, but that time is taken. Now let's come on termination reason. Now termination reason, there is dismissal. There are those that are blank. Now, it means if it is blank, then there was no reason, right? So if we want, we can fill this because there may be someone who was terminated, but still there is no reason. Which means when we start analyzing those people who are terminated without reason, we should be able to get them. How can you get that? For example, we shall delete that step. Let's first remain with nulls on termination. And yeah, there is nothing. And if we remove null and select everything to remain with the people who are terminated, it's good that here everyone has a reason, which is okay. But at some point you may have nulls. So what I am meant to do here, I'll remove this, select again everything. Now, what I'm going to do on the reason here, anything that is empty, I can replace it with no reason. Such that at some point, in case there is someone who is terminated and there is a terminated date, they don't put the reason, to always bring no reason. So you who is doing data analysis for HR, you should be able to ask the admin, why is so-and-so terminated without a reason? Can you go in the database or in the file and put the reason, please? You get? Why? Because the data is giving you that. You did the cleaning right. Now, what am I going to do here? There are many ways on how you can replace this. First of all, if I do this, if I select the whole of this, it will give me what we called the distribution to show you the many reasons you have. Then, if I right click on the blank and I want, it will always give you options. Do you want to copy the value? Do you want to filter? Now, if I want to filter, let's say a quick one without coming to this filter, if I want to filter only those with reason of resignation, I'll right click on this and say text filter equals. It will only filter what I right clicked on. Automatically, I'll get the people with a reason of resignation. Obviously, I will cancel this filter because I don't need it. Now, let's go to the empties. If I want to replace the empties, I will right click on them, come here on replace values. I'll click on replace values. It will open a dialog. Value to find, because I right clicked on whatever it was, I will not put anything. Then I come on replace. I'm going to replace with the word no reason, right? Then I will do okay. So any blank I had right clicked on has been replaced with no reason, which means this time if I do data profiling, you see the no reasons, they are 64. It means either they are all not yet terminated, which means I have 64 current employees. Then the remaining have reasons because they are terminated, which they are 90, I think you can see from here, 90. So when you check now this column, you see now 100% valid. We have cleaned that. That is one of the steps, replacing nulls and errors. Now let's go on another step. The other step may be you to remove duplicates. So in case there is an employee that everything, all the details, this employee was appearing in table 1 and table 2. Remember, we combine these tables. And you don't want to count that employee times 2. It is going to be as if you are counting ghost employees. So there is also an option here of removing duplicates. There are many options here you can use. but we shall go step by step. But you can also try them. There is here remove duplicates. So when I click on that, you see this one in the corner here, whatever I do, it affects for the whole table, not only this column. That's why it is in the corner here. So if I say remove duplicates, it will log a step that I have removed the duplicates. So you do that testing to test you put it in a part of your step such that even if they entered duplicates in the table the other side, this step will always remove those duplicates. But duplicate means that it has same values from column 1 to the last column. Now, that cleaning part is done. Let's go on changing data types. Now, when you look at the ID, this ID, someone else may say it is a number, but it's not a number. Because it is an ID, we can't add these IDs, that's 35 plus 36. That's why you can't change these into number. Where do we change data type? By clicking on this ABC123. When you click on that, it brings you all the data types. Then the other option is selecting that column and you go to transform, then there is data type here. So there is NA because it is ABC and 1, 2, 3. If I want to change, then you get the same options. So a shortcut is always clicking here. So when I click here, I will make this a text. Why I'm making it a text? Because there is no time that I will ever add these. So they are not numbers, they are text. We come to employee, it is already ABC. We come to gender, it is already ABC. To date, this is going to be a date. So you click here. Now there is date and date stroke time. When you're having a column that has both date and time, that's when you use this. But this time we are using this date. You see, it changes this to a calendar. It means that when we go to our data, this will always be looked at as a date. Then this one is also a date. This one is also a date. Now, when I make it date, it ignores the other nulls. For it, it will always look at the date. Yeah, sure. Now, termination reason, it is already text, is already text, is already text, and this one is already text. Now, when you check here that we have created only one step with all the changes in data type, and when I come to this step and I come here at the top, this is the code Power BI writes in the background. You see, we were from a step remove duplicates. Let me expand this. We go through together. Just a moment. Okay, it's not expanding, but when you press a control and scroll your mouse, it should expand the letters to be bigger. Then we come to ID. You see, we changed it to text. You see this. Now I'm teaching you how to read the M language. That was one part of what we need to understand. So you see, when it came to birthday, it changed it to date. When it came to hire, it changed it to date. When it came to termination, changed it to date. So that's how it is. Now, if we go even to these ones, you'll see they also have all this. You remember we were by then still having column 7, column 8. That's the M language. Now, for all the steps we have so far done, if you want to see the code that Power Query is writing for us in the background, you always come here on View and you go to Advanced Editor. So when you come to Advanced Editor, it will open an editor with a full code. You see this full code. It has documented all the steps in form of a code, and this is what we call M language. I don't expect you to come this side as of now. You see that even it gives me the source directly, that I can copy this here and take it in any folder. It will open this file automatically. Even if it is a website, you can even get it from here. You know which website they are picking this data from. So when you practice more and make Power BI your friend, you can always even come and look at these and you change errors from here, or you update stuff from here. So if I copy this code and pasted it somewhere. Open this file as how we started new by importing, and go to the editor and paste this code as how it is. It would bring us to this step here. I don't know whether you get it. It means that if it is the same reporting you do, cleaning and all that, you can use the same code to clean files. Like, you don't have to go through those steps every day. You just use your code that you created one day. So that's how you can migrate these steps into another working. Okay. Now, as part of the cleaning, I showed you that we can create more columns. Now, you as a data analyst, you have to think, what would the user want to know? First of all, I would feel like the user wants to know whether an employee is terminated or is active. Okay, whether is terminated or active, or active or deactivated, whatever words you use. So you can always now create those columns, right? Now, how do you create a new column? How do you add a new column? There are many ways. Here it is. There is adding a column. There are many options here you use. There is conditional column, there is indexing. Indexing is numbering your columns. Like if I come to this table and click maybe here and say add a column by indexing, it is going to add from 0 to 1. So if I come to this, it will tell me that it started from 0 and it was incrementing by 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if I say, no, start from 100 and increment by 1, you see it will start 100, 100, 100, 200, 300, 4, which means you can create a number to count your entries. That is one option of adding a column. Then the other option is what we are going for, adding a column using an example. Then here you say from selection. Now, here they are giving us a column we have selected, which is termination date. And here we are supposed to start trying out by typing. Where there is null, we need there terminated, like this. Enter. Go to the next. This one is, oh, no, the null is the one that is active. Huh? So here we are trying to give Power BI examples. This is what I want you to do. Terminated. Go to the third, active. This terminated. Please change or remove the existing example because before specifying. Wait a minute. Let's use this one. So this one, actually, let's use this one that has already no reason. Sorry for that. We are doing a step that would have needed us in module 3. So reason here, I'm trying to teach Power BI that where you find no reason, put active. Dismissal, terminated. No reason, active. Unfair dismissal, it is putting terminated. Now, you see it is graying the other part, trying to simulate what you were trying to teach it. And when you see that it has already learned what you are trying to do, that where there is no reason, it is active. Where there is anything else, it is terminated. You go ahead and say, yes, this is what I need. And there you'll have created a column which we want to rename as employee status, like this. So here I just wanted to show you that you can create more columns to make sure that when you're analyzing data, which means if I do this, now I can easily do profiling, active, they are 64, terminated, they are 26. So which means when even I'm creating my visuals and graphs, I can easily create for HR a pie chart that gives them who is active and who is terminated, because I will be using this column for my counts. So today we are doing, we are purposely on data cleaning. We are not going to go into the visuals. We are going to do that. We shall use the same file. We are going to do that in the next module. Now, when you feel that really I have done myself justice to do the cleaning, someone else may say, Chris, why can't we add a column of months? Like if we need months for hire. So you'll come on hire, then you go on add columns. But now, since this is the date is purpose, it has its special feature here. That when you go on that feature, it has everything. So you see it has year, if you want to put year, if you want to put month, a quarter, week, day, and it has all the categories of days. Now I want a month. The month I will come, do you need the start of the month? Do you need the end of the month? We need the name of the month. The moment I click this, it will add a column here at the end, name of the month, Feb, March, downwards. You can also go back to the same higher date. If I want the month number, still you can add the month number from here by clicking on month. It will add the month number, 2, 5, 10, like that. Still the other one still selected when you go to add columns. Now when it disappears, it means you're no longer selecting the date. So you see it is grayed out. So if I select high again, it appears. Now here is the magic. You see that we are given the birth dates. How can we get the age? Someone may ask himself, are we going to create a column, this equals to that minus that? No. In Power BI, the moment you have the birth date, you can come on date, there is age. So the moment you click age, it will compute with the date today and give you the age. So this age, you'll go ahead and it is in the wrong data type. We shall change the data type. So how do you change the data type? By clicking here and say, this should be a whole number. Because what it is showing now, the icon, it is showing duration. And duration shows in minutes. It means that every person, these are the minutes they have spent on Earth. The hours, actually, they have spent on Earth. But we don't want that. We just want the age. So we shall say we need a whole number. And it will give us a whole number. Wait a minute. Okay. It's giving us a whole number, but just a moment. Local. There's something I'm checking. This is whole number. Anyway, still it is giving us in hours. I don't want to use any DAX, any formula in this session. Let's pack it at that. But it's good you know now how you get age directly from the birth date. We shall need to check that birth date. It is not giving us the right thing. It is giving us hours, not years. So you can add as many columns as you need. Someone else may say, for me, male and female in my data. Yes, Daphne?
Thank you, Chris. How would I then put a formula to give me the how long I've had the employee, the hire date and the current date, the duration the employee has?
It is the same thing. When you click here, the age gives you a computation, the difference between today and the date you have selected. It means that this updates every day. Every day you open your dashboard, the date updates in the background. Let's try also this. When you click on higher date and click on age, it is meant to give us the challenge we have in our file. It is defaulting to duration, and when we change duration back, Just a moment. It is, I think you can understand this. It is defaulting to duration, and when you change duration back, it gives us hours. But we are supposed to change this to months. It's fine. We shall do that in the next classes. So when you can change this now to a whole number like this, and boom, it will give you a whole number. But this whole number is in hours, and yet we need them maybe in years, or we shall say we shall change this in the next session. But that's how you get the time the employee has spent with you. Then, if you want to know, now since we have hire and termination, the people you have terminated, you want to know how long did they spend with me, because for them they have gone, they are no longer current. So what you do with these is you select the two dates, then you come here, there is always subtract dates. It gives you that option of subtract dates when you have selected two columns. So when I click subtract dates, it gives me the difference between the two dates. Where you see null, it means in termination it is null. So still it is giving me hours, but we shall see how we can change this going forward. So it means here the time it gives you, the person you terminated, the time between termination and hire, this is the number. So which means you can get a lot of computations, a lot of metrics you can get with HR, retention, a lot. Your rate of retention, your rate of, yes, Stephen?
This is giving me a negative. What if I wanted to do, the best would be termination minus, minus, how do I change? Yeah.
Yeah, I get your question. Let me cancel this step again. The first column, you know, I had selected termination, then I selected hire. So the first column you select is the first column that will be subtracted from. So you first select hire, then control select termination. Then let's go on, wait a minute. Control this, then come here, subtract. It is giving us a negative. Why? By the way, this is a dummy data, so if it gives us a negative at some point, you may find the termination is earlier than. Okay, so let's do the reverse. This, control this, subtract. Yeah. So which means you first select the one you're going to subtract, then the second selection is where you're going to subtract from, right? So we first selected termination, then we select higher, then it gives us a positive. Then the reverse gives you a negative. But that's how you can play with it. It is the order of selection that changes which one subtracts from where. How do I select the two columns shortcut? You press a control. When you select one, you press a control, you select the other. So when you want to select more than one column, you press a control like this, when you're pressing a control. Then when I select this one and I want to select these consecutive columns without skipping, I press a shift. Then when you click on this, it selects all those. That's the shortcut you can use. Let's say I wanted to delete all these. This is how I can do it. Then I go ahead here and I go ahead on home and say remove columns. They will be deleted. But don't worry, you can cancel this step, you retrieve your data again. So guys, I don't want us I don't want to stretch you so much. I know we have all been busy the whole day since it's not a weekend. This is part of what you can do in data cleaning. Then when you're done with this, remember to rename your file. I'm going to rename this as employee. When you're renaming, never put space. I will do underscore employee data. So when you check here, you see we are showing sheet 1. So after renaming and enter, it changes this to employee data. Such that when I close and apply, there are many options here. There is apply, There is close and apply, there is close. Let me start with apply. When I say apply, it means that I'm applying all the changes I've been doing, but I will leave the Power Query editor open. Maybe I want to do other changes. That is like an option of saving. Because the moment this cancelled, I haven't applied anything. Then close and apply, it means it's going the query editor is going to close, then you apply the changes. Then when you close, obviously it's going to ask you, do you want to apply the changes before you close? To make sure you don't lose data. So here we close and apply, and it is always the default, which means when you click on this button, you have clicked on the default. Close and apply. It will always first bring this red thing, don't mind on it. When the syncing is going on, it will disappear. But if it doesn't, you come and apply from here. So you see the other options have disappeared because now our canvas has been introduced with data, as you can see. So when I expand this data of mine, it expands. Now, anything with a summation, it means that column can be summed. It means that column was left as a number. That's what exactly I was telling you, that I never wanted ID to have this summation thing. So you can always go back, like change this to text if you want, but this data now is surface. Which means, like I already told you, just a brief one. If I want, let's say, create a pie chart here, and I want to get the termination, the employee status. Where is employee status? This. So when I click on that, use employee, this is a legend, then value. So you see, legend, it is what I want it to denote for me here. Then the value, it is counting. So it is counting how many actives are there, how many terminations are there, and it brings it as a pie chart. Well done, just it is a matter of you aligning it to your canvas. So you see 26% are terminated and active. You can go ahead and change colors to make sure that it shouts the colors it means. By clicking on this, you come and look out for format. Those ones who are with us, you know how we did this. So when you click on format, you go and look out for the slices, and you look out for color. Then you go on the first slice of active, it is blue. We give this green, right? Like this. These guys are really active. Then when you come and terminated, you change this to red because this guy is left, right? Such that even though someone looks at it, it automatically depicts what you're talking about. Red obviously terminated, green is active. So to you as an HR in the business, you can already tell what is the retention. This company doesn't just release or terminate employees. You get. Then the other metrics we shall look at are what's the average time an average employee has spent with the company. If it is like 2 years, then you have kept the employees for some good time. If the retention rate is 1 month, then your employees are coming and going, and even it would be speaking itself from here that the active ones are less than those that have gone, right? You can change this into another chart, let's say bar. If it, as it is selected here, if I select on a bar or stacked column, it automatically changes it. To a bar like that, it automatically changes when you have already done your formatting. Sorry, just sorry for that. So next module, this module was purposely on data cleaning. Next module, it's when we shall come to see how we do the data modeling here. You see there is already one table. We shall be importing more tables, employee IDs, a lot. Maybe you're even importing their payroll structure. You're importing their clocking time in and out, and you come and map all these from here. That's what we call the schema or relationships. Then here, if you want to look at your data without opening the Power Query editor, you come on the data table view. So the data is selected here, you see, you can view your table from here. Then here, this is the canvas where we do the reporting from. Then here, this is where we do the DAX from. But this is somehow advanced, we shall leave it for now. Let's focus on these three. So that is that. I know we have overstretched this now to, I think, 1 hour and 45 minutes. I will first pause for us to have some questions. So if I look at what we are meant to do, introduction, the ETL, we have done that. We have got the data, we have imported it, we have cleaned, we have removed errors, blanks, formatted some things. We have merged. We shall do this maybe next time, merging, appending, pivoting, and pivoting as we go on. I have shown you the basics in M language basics, and where you can see your code and how to read it right. We have applied steps and their dependencies. These are the steps we are looking at. Sorry. The steps here. Okay, in the Power Query editor. If you want to go back in the Power Query editor, there are two options. You can use this button here, transform data. It takes you back to the Power Query editor, it opens it. Or you come here and click on those three dots, then you go to edit query. There is a shortcut for refreshing here. There are many things, we shall look at them. So if I want to go back, it will open like this, then you go back, and these are the steps we are talking about. So I've told you what these steps mean. In Power Query Editor, we don't have Control Z. So whatever you cancel is not going to come back. You have to remember how you created it, that step, to bring it back. The moment you cancel it, you can't bring it back. But if you want to scroll through your data, how you are changing it, the moment you click on the step, it takes you back how that data was at that same step. As you scroll down, you see the changes you have been doing like this. Yes, any questions? Any questions? So I will share with you data that is dirty. In the course of the week, please try to do the cleaning. And I will ask some questions after you've done the cleaning. Like, I'll ask questions like this. How many males do you have? It means if you have done the cleaning right and you come to this profiling, you can tell me how many males you got, how many females you got, right? So I will share with you that it may not be this exactly, but I will share with you data. Then after you have done the cleaning, I know where you'll go rough in cleaning, maybe on position. I may ask you, how many developers did you get after cleaning? 23. Let's say where we put a reason of no reason on termination reason, I may ask you, how many employees were terminated or stand without a reason? There are 64. How many employees were terminated with a reason resignation? There are 11. And what percentage is it? 12%. In the course of the week, I'll be asking those questions. But for I think you can use a weekend. I will start asking those questions on Sunday after you have done your cleaning. Then in the course of you doing your cleaning, please ask as many questions on the chat as you can. On the group, we are there to support. Whenever you get a problem, we are there to support. I will share this recording when it is finally generated. I will attach it on your profile. Then I will also attach the file you're going to use here. Here. So when you open your module, you'll find a file here to download. I will attach that file. You will download, then it is the file you'll export, transform, load, and tell me what you have got. If you can go ahead and start creating some reports from that data, well and good. But the next stage we are going to, our module 3, is data modeling. You can't miss that. Data modeling is the core of data analysis. If your data is not well related, it's like in a family, if your relationship with your spouse is not aligned, is not perfect, the home is broken. Exactly, that's our module 3. If your relationship of the different data tables you're having is not aligned, whatever you're going to put here on the reporting will always be not trusted. Because you present this as a data analyst, the HR will tell you, no. Here you show that we are 64 active, terminated 26. But in total, we have never employed a total of 64 plus 26, that is 90. We have never had 90 employees in our books. Now, you start looking green. And the moment you ever present data that is broken, you as a data analyst, that you're also not sure of, the moment people lose trust at a go, even if you create 4 or 5 reports, they will always have that trust issue. So you have to always make sure that you have scrutinized your data perfectly to the dot.